In this presentation, we'll take a look at the relationship between dietary choices and when we feel awake or ready for a restful night's sleep. When it comes to diet, it seems everyone has an opinion. We're bombarded with information about eating or not eating, and lots of details about how and when to do both. It can be difficult to sort fact from fiction when it comes to food choices, so let's take a moment to consider the accuracy of a few common notions. Decide whether you think they're true. Fact or fiction? The Thanksgiving stupor many Americans experience is due to the tryptophan content of the turkey. Eating carbohydrate at night will cause weight gain. A breakfast of cereal, milk, and juice provides a good source of sustained energy for the morning. We'll revisit these assumptions at the end of the presentation. Based on research over the last 30 years, we know a lot about the effect of diet on brain chemistry, and we're continuing to learn more. Amino acids that in our body are constantly competing for uptake across the blood-brain barrier. These amino acids are the precursors to neurotransmitters and other components in the brain. Tryptophan and tyrosine are two amino acids found in food that can influence how relaxed or how energized we feel. When we increase the amount of tryptophan our brains receive, we get a higher production of serotonin, and serotonin is a precursor to melatonin. Serotonin can help us feel a little more calm and relaxed, and melatonin aids with sleepiness. How would you get more serotonin? By eating a meal that has a higher percentage of carbohydrate than protein. For people who have a well-functioning pancreas, a higher intake of carbohydrate produces insulin, and insulin clears out a lot of the competitors to tryptophan, making tryptophan's entry into the brain easier. Tyrosine, on the other hand, tends to be a little higher in proteins in general. If a meal has a higher percentage of lean protein than carbohydrate, tyrosine is favored to cross the blood-brain barrier. Tyrosine is the precursor to the catecholamines, norepinephrine and dopamine, which make you more alert. So have you ever stayed up all night and then found that your appetite was different the next day? Does being sleep deprived cause you to crave certain foods or want to eat more? If so, two hormones, ghrelin and leptin, are likely the culprits. Ghrelin is a hormone that makes your appetite greedy. It makes you hungrier. Leptin is a hormone that makes you feel more satisfied. When a person experiences insufficient, inadequate, or poor quality sleep for their needs, their body produces a greater amount of ghrelin and less leptin. This is double the trouble because the ghrelin in the person's system causes an interest in food, yet they're less likely to feel satisfied even with food because there's less leptin. Consequently, sleep can have an effect on our food choices, and poor quality sleep can encourage poor dietary habits. Recent research on these and other hormones have made it clear that there is a connection between quality of sleep and later food-seeking behavior. So what are some dietary strategies if you want to have improved energy? Well, if you're looking for good energy both in the mind and in the body, you'll benefit from a protein-based meal or snack. The protein needs to be lean, since saturated fat like that found in cheese may contribute to a sense of lethargy. Some carbohydrate is important for good metabolism, but there should be a little more protein. Be sure to select a slow-burning, complex carbohydrate which contains some fiber. The meal or snack should be moderately sized. A large amount of food at one time can make digestion, which does take energy, more difficult. Also, excellent hydration is crucial. Consider this. Studies of athletes have shown that physical and cognitive performance both decline with dehydration. Just a 1 to 2% dehydration of body weight can cause up to 10% decline in mental and athletic performance. Now, what should you eat when you want to be able to sleep well? Since protein is more stimulating to the brain, to wind down your day, you want a higher carbohydrate snack or meal. High carbohydrate? Does that mean eat a bunch of sugar? No. If we're still interested in eating better quality carbohydrates, complex carbohydrates that should not be high in fat. Fat slows the rate of digestion, which could cause the body to be working rather than resting during sleep. French fried potatoes, for example, would distract the digestive system from good quality sleep. And for the same reason, before bed, avoid gassy foods like beans or vegetables that are more difficult to digest. So, to recap what we've learned about diet, energy, and sleep, here are some recommendations for the day. First and foremost, hydrate with water throughout the day. For great energy, there is nothing like water. Inadequate hydration can make us feel lethargic or even ill. Some of the foods we eat, vegetables and some fruits, can also help hydrate us. And our hydration needs vary based upon the amount of caffeine and fiber we consume, the amount we sweat, other factors, so you may need more water on some days than others. If you're not sure whether you're sufficiently hydrated, just try the toilet test. If your urine is dark between meals and you haven't taken a vitamin tablet, then you probably need more H2O. Also, to help keep optimal energy during the day, incorporate lean protein into most of your meals and snacks. In the evening, our food choices need to help us wrap up the activities of the day while not interfering with sleep. At dinner, eat a moderate amount of protein and fat, and if your meal includes a high fiber food like beans or gassy vegetables, try to have those early in the evening. If you have an evening study snack, try to keep it lower in fat. Pizza and fried wings may be a common nighttime study buddy for some students, but these types of high-fat foods can interfere with sleep later and really aren't the best options for overall health. Also, watch out for dark chocolate in the evening snacks. Dark chocolate tends to be higher in caffeine, and caffeine can interfere with sleep. In general, avoid large late-night feedings. Really, a heavy meal too close to bedtime may disrupt our sleep, affecting those hormones that regulate appetite, satiety, and our food choices the next day. By eating well, we're more likely to sleep well and perpetuate a health-promoting cycle. So now let's take another look at those fact or fiction assumptions from earlier. Is turkey to blame for the stupor? No, turkey doesn't have any more tryptophan than chicken or duck. Remember that stupor is due to general overeating and overindulging at Thanksgiving. Recall that when paired with a lesser amount of low-fat complex carbohydrate, a lean protein like turkey could actually help us feel energized. Is carbohydrate at night responsible for extra pounds? Actually, no. If evening meals and snacks are promoting of good quality sleep, that can help prevent weight gain, since the individual is less likely to have mismanaged hormones dictating their appetite. When paired with a healthy diet during the day, having a small amount of carbohydrate at night with a little bit of protein will not cause weight gain. So what about breakfast? Cereal with juice and milk is not a good source of sustained energy. It's better to have some lean protein at that meal. Choosing whole fruit in place of juice provides us with a slower burning carbohydrate that has fiber. Also, depending upon the cereal, we may be loading up on sugar at breakfast, which could lead to sluggishness rather than alertness later in the morning. So not surprisingly, students are often looking for ways to get a quick boost or easily fall asleep. At the same time, many of us are also trying to find ways to lose or maintain weight. When it comes to diet, most facts are relatively simple. The guidelines to follow for energizing or sleep-enhancing meals and snacks are also health-promoting. Rather than relying on instant fixes that come with later consequences, we can support our overall wellness by trying to consistently eat and hydrate in ways that will sustain performance and then allow us to rest when it's time. Here's to eating well and sleeping well. Bon appetit. Good night.